ebusia mamumu akwaba mo atena sembra Coastal Television do de geta near 514 scanner won sabaka channel 22 ya sentedo ne seto gas won de geta boxing nemo channel 54 de on your go TV do na anepay samamu akwaba na mamu atena sa ena mpempre ya yer kese ya oye community connect jumadi sonkwa Coastal Television ya de abobade ende yebu pemu oye Ola Medina na se ehwe mechira iwuda mpa apui na oda hodeja tetete dama olugbasachi bra na asaya yewe oye the breeze meche bar and restaurant asayi ena anepe yade community connecting yade aba aboshe na sayerka Ola Medina na oye electoral area epanwara na rekodua epanwara na rekwa UCC epanwusu biewara na okere wemi chepedu abakadi anaso anye Ola low cost na ene boba abanyum na Ola kita electoral area basa ekroye Ola Medina ono na ya aboshe kwesi ye Ola low cost na za odewe ni ye Ola not Ola madase not Ola electoral area ehwan na woni gina bi adokomu adesadar na ye ka Ola low cost sa na woni gina bi no okakako oye UCC Casford area ho ana so kwantempon adekosi ensi damara na ye ka Ola Medina na chi edu Ola the typical Ola afadamana nkasa oni Ola Medina na bebe ye gina yi oye woni sida wanye oye duakwer wanye wono bwase na anepay community connect ya bakense yade nkomo ho nansa na nkomo no baban ebusua mayenda edwumaku a waya woni pe na wona adom weso hinasen manepe bia yati yene dwumadi sonko yede brawo ana so mpo fide bia yati community connect yede bra homum anepe mayemfa sida yemfa mahon yada sida reme edwumaku a na yateta sida no izama oye National Petroleum Authority NPA also use gas na gas de oya affordable pa na mum use gas na warankasa obi yesu zamode ibi stay back na stay safe osa na wonkwa no hia enti mantwan na fuel tank mbofom na entwumo ba phone na rekutwa video ana rekutwa mfanyin ana so mpo ensisa wo gallons de erekase sa fango na wolugun ebusua mo nkwa hu hia osanda fango odijanam nti obutu atom at any time bia opie enti NPA de wala bo nkwa hu ban osan nkwa hu ohian papa yaza sren bisu ma diesel gift shop de anepay achade be na epe na de ma wadofa obomu da mpa eyin enuado na yankodon gide diesel enti mo budget ti bia bo modern kopedu interbatin traffic light na sepe meche breakfast lunch na supper fakadan details no mbo fia meter fried rice pepper bi jollof rice ana super plain rice chicken ana fish pepper bi ebusia oya akono dodo na mom ebia na ye kese ya anepe mawu ugina be bi gina ninti aba pire bi ye koko ana bi ye oats ana ebi ye tea ni super coffee ana ni na ebe ye bi wo oye the taste wo abra coffee apple class of stores nas wope meche Cape Tech Junction eho na the taste anepe washa wada hodin no wodi so hinase ebusua yemfa sedane bi so yemfa ma oye Nesto Ventures iyo Nesto Ventures de anepe bra no abranteba aketesi abade oma woyimentew wo bagom impo sa akabande woda na etimun ode live you feel good na wala nkesa feel guy papa ona ye de ibe standing fan ibe air condition ibe ceiling fan that question light papa bi ono or Nesto Ventures unada woma ebusu electric iron epe gas cooker epe blender na za yejuma epe blender de sese jadu ho na me jadu won tede inye na ezibanu fence jar na bibiara record za mo pocho ko oye Nesto Ventures asoyi Nesto Ventures wo oye Abra Academy Christ the King metre school road no do me cover Methodist aso no positive pepepe eho ena Nesto Ventures wo sha anepe won so da hoden no wo di so hinasen ebusia ye da sere ne besu ye de ma emimens na so ode adanse wo na made fakadanen no mbo na ye paint papa fa paint na no nsuta na ra hoho na no fefe da ma ana asumpo ebenya oye security doors a edebesi wuda na no na wabo wode onanye emimens hardware and furnitures ebusia anepe American farmer ko kwamna waka avenue abra kwante pondo meche kep fm no positive pe era emimens ebusiafo wahye ko na wonfa building materials wonfa nsomo papa nti ebusia adwuma ku wona adawroma na anepe we so hinasen na yeti community connector inde ana fide bia yete bra hono edwuma ku a we so hinasen ni nti yeda sedare ma wona yeda sedare ma wona osafata pa ebusia me yenda yewomra yaba yede center focus nsema okodo o man Ghana fifi manto na ogwa nimpuntu ne kankono eda som aba from kitikeku asorba kofi esuman yankomre sesia.
We sell gift shop, a place you can rely on. You call on us and we will deliver. Thank you.
Mido, Ghana Biana. I'm going to be able to do everything. I'm going to say, baby, shit. Mangashi.
Junior!
I'm saying so now for maybe the no.
Sister Cospa, it's a winning gas.
I'm using the why.
Why?
Down Yankanawa.
Ah, Sister Cos. Use gas. Gas ye fast, ye easy, ye convenient. Wow.
LPG, let me see your hand. Ooh, I got yeah.
Ebushama Misamu Akwaba, Mufambra Costa Television do, na yade in some Oman Ghana, Fifi Manto, Onyi Ogwa Numusama Orokodo, Metre Center Focus na yade Basumumi. Na Yensen Samnasi Fefi Supreme Court, Yen Pefede, Oman Ghana, Yana Atembu, Kase, Obabadi, and fee or ha Onyi Edunum, 150 years. Why some fa na wabungwa tete na otemwafu peina owo omanaga no mete chief justice owura bafu money odin some that to go achemi there say ka supreme court aya dodo nara susu there oye court ono ebia nyensam ina na mum nsama ohia nkoten na wakan wasam na o se nyada me na otin supreme court de asem biara sabi woyudi na onya odawa baby a edoko ayasem di biara ehoso edoko a obohwe na nsem otedem odatutum yanko ninkite nsema chief justice okay ni bi
she protects me in the house and he's here to protect me, so I have to specially acknowledge her, otherwise I may not have a place to return to this evening. Members of the clergy present, a quiet but profound chapter began on these shores. The highest court of the Gold Coast was formally established, not in grand ceremony, but with a solemn duty to guard laws, liberties, and the promise of justice for all. Today, we gather here not merely to mark the passage of time, but to reflect deeply on its meaning. For institutions do not become great by years alone. They become great by the courage with which they serve their purpose. And in our case, by the fidelity with which they uphold the calling of justice. Madam Chair, today we launch the celebration of Supreme Court of Ghana at 150 under the theme, quote, honoring the past, celebrating the present, and defining the future, end quote. This anniversary is more than a milestone. It is a moment for honest reflection, quiet gratitude, and bold hope. 150 years is remarkable, but history will not judge us by how long the court has existed. It will judge us by what we did with the moment entrusted to us, whether we merely celebrated the past or whether we had the courage to define a brighter future. This anniversary, therefore, must be remembered as a commitment to faster justice, to accessible justice, to transparent justice, and to a judiciary worthy of the enduring trust of the Ghanaian people. Let us first honor the past with the respect it richly deserves. From the early courts in Cape Coast, where the foundations of our legal tradition were laid in the very cradle of what will become Ghana, through the colonial era and the turbulent years after independence, men and women of courage sat on the bench. They defended the rule of law, often under pressure, sometimes making difficult choices, yet leaving behind a legacy of integrity that still lights our path. We remember the pioneering judges who built this institution brick by brick, literally and figuratively. We remember the first Ghanaian voices that rose in our courtrooms, helping shape a young nation into a constitutional democracy. Their footprints live on in every judgment that has protected rights, resolved disputes, and upheld the dignity of the ordinary citizen. We are especially honored today by the presence of three distinguished former Chief Justices. Her Ladyship Georgina Todara Wood, our first female Chief Justice, and incidentally the longest serving Chief Justice. from the history of, I'm on record, Georgina Wood served 10 years. The nearest person was Justice Apalu, who served 9 years. Now, her ladyship just so far, Abuna Boafo for our chair for today, and His Lordship Justice Kwesi Eniyabua. When I wrote this when I was writing this speech, he had promised to be here. That is why his name appears here. We are also very much honored by the presence of retired justices like Justice Pegan, who, when he was invited, despite the fact that he doesn't feel too well, promised that he will be here, and he is here. My Lord, we are very, very grateful to you. I also want to especially mention the name of Justice Samuel Alan Bobi, who actually mentored me, and I'm certain mentored most of the judges who are here. I would also like to mention Justice William Atuguba. When I joined the Supreme Court in 2008, he was one of the pillars that I found difficult to get near to, because he and Sophia Kufu were like institutions. I had been taught in the law school by Justice Datiba, so I felt comfortable in his presence. But the universities must not only celebrate, they must also speak truth. After 150 years, we must ask ourselves honestly, are we where we should be? Should congestion and delays still burden our courts? Should we still lean so heavily on manual processes in a digital age? Should access to justice in too many cases still hinge on geography, cost, or time? These are not attacks on individuals. They are questions about systems. Because the truth is this: longevity without renewal is a quiet form of decline. And the law, if it is to remain relevant, must not only endure, it must respond. That is why this anniversary is not only a commemoration, it is a turning point and a mandate. The court of today is a living institution, busier, more accessible, and more transparent than ever. We have embraced technology, strengthened processes, and worked tirelessly to deliver justice that is timely and fair. Our courts, from the apex to the districts, serve millions who turn to us when all else feels uncertain. We celebrate the present through concrete actions already in motion. Through the e-justice program, we are moving toward digital filing, digital service, virtual hearings, and digitized records, making justice faster, more efficient, and more accessible. We have introduced extended court sittings via the two-stream system, turning time itself into an ally of justice. Through specialized courts for emerging areas of law, we are acknowledging that the law must grow with society. And through the ongoing revision of our court rules of court, we are attempting something fundamental to ensure that procedure serves justice and does not suffocate it. We are equally strengthening security and infrastructure around the courts ensuring that justice is delivered in safe and dignified environments. And we are actively and cautiously reforming legal education to achieve a twin solution of expanding access while preserving quality.
Na mbranyimi a wa biniye wo oman ganum owura chachichi kata na se ahwefo obakaya abra afimpime bien onye edonu ena nombre NDC MPP wona mansotwe abato kupemu Supreme Court na owura chachichi kata jana nado dembranyimi yi tema NDC amanyeku na wabona abado sonko ayade za papa no abaye moman Ghana kemem kabi pempenda webudi waya de papa no modem ba so yi nti osafata da wabona abado ebusafo yanko abosobado na ase na enkohwe nkite nsama owura tatitu kata odutu goribi.
I must also speak about my own experience of being tried and imprisoned, as these two provide lessons about the misuse of both executive and judicial powers. Upon an application by my lawyer EVO, the Supreme Court, by a 5-4 majority, declared unconstitutional both the so-called fast-track High Court, before which I was arraigned, and my having been summoned to the court in the name of the president. I think I may be one of the only people, I'm sure I'm the only person since Republican Ghana who has been summoned to a court in the name of the president. And that was despite the fact that the Constitution requires the independence of the judiciary. Now, after that 5-4 decision, as Betty pointed out, President Kufuor immediately took steps to appoint 2 new judges to the Supreme Court for the express purpose of enabling Chief Justice Redu, who was one of the minority in the 5-4 decision, to empanel those 2 new members of the Supreme Court as part of the review panel. The then Attorney General, later President Nana Akufo-Addo, held a press conference after the Supreme Court decision, condemning the judges in the majority for what he called a perverse decision. According to plan, the review ended up overturning the earlier decision by a 6-5 majority. Police were sent on the Sunday after the first decision of the Supreme Court to the church where I worship to arrest me. I had always made myself available to the police. The only reason for that particular event, immediately following the Supreme Court decision in my favor, was to show that even that court decision did not matter to the powers that be. Later that same week, new charges were brought in a normal high court against me. These were again dismissed on the basis that they were unconstitutional, being in breach of the clear constitutional provision against criminal legislation being used retroactively. Once the president got the review panel he wanted, and the Supreme Court now went his way, I was arraigned before a fast-track High Court again. And on June 18, 2008, which was not a day set for judgment in the case, and whilst there was pending in the Supreme Court, as again Betty mentioned, a ruling as to whether the IFC had immunity from being subpoenaed as a witness for the defense, the trial judge, who had previously decided to await the decision of the Supreme Court, now announced that the day of judgment has come. She disregarded the fact that my lawyer had written to notify the court he had to travel out of the jurisdiction. He said to me, "You are a lawyer yourself," unquote. I pointed out that I was being represented by counsel throughout the trial, and I did not even have the brief for the case, so I could not conduct my defense myself. The person who came to court with me that morning, the judge required that we be in court as early as 8 a.m. that day. And so I had to pick him up. So that person was my lifelong friend, more like an older brother, John Henry Mate Newman, President Mills' chief of staff. So I picked up Mate from his office to go to court, and at the end, I had to give him my car keys to drive the car home. There was no question that the judge was determined to send me to prison at all costs that day, urged on by the then Attorney General Joe Gatti, who had not appeared in court for about a year and a half, since the judge had been adjourning proceedings to await the appeal in respect of the issue of this IFC being subpoenaed. He was in court that day, however, with his full team, about 5 of them, for no other purpose than to have me convicted and sent to prison. The transcript of the proceedings that day makes interesting reading. It was published in the Legon Observer at the time. I encourage lawyers and law students and members of the public in general to obtain that transcript and read it for themselves.
Na Omanpai John Dramani Mahama, Free Pega, Otabu, Ebasa, Ejina Nutumudo, Naza, Afim Pibe, Onye, Edonu, Anan, Wallabon, Sheda, want to Abama one, or the other campaign, Casa, the chairman say na there. Sir, what to Abaman? No, a son by a Omanpai na. Upon Medinan summon, a washer no Ejinado, not the Bibison Kukra or the Abobaza, Ansana. Ebo kwa ya sabien ena ta paso anyim da manyu na mum akọ wa hwehwew we hu nhwehwem sonko da wo yere be mame oti bebe onamyi obur anwode na da ma primary health care oburdun ansa na atwen wo health insurance card na wa asase da sesikasam bi bebe ma ehon epedo ebusuafo Omanpai John Dramani Mahama edietum no do na wapa damun susu no wotam one can. Is you see now you there? Primary health care. Omanpai Richema. Answer never call Ayasabian. Other wooden count Ubisa wooden. Watch out, wash away one, wash on Sano. Simple Yaraba. On ya Yarababia. Ah, ever can they TD Yarabadi. Malaria de Anawana. You be in word and your home boy, wash your come. Ah, one your passer, one your dama. Emma Wabodo. No way ya kaban there. Baby, I will have been couldn't. Or that was the old call. And Pampanda. Ochen me ewana. A one na a chain who had insurance card. Na a digiman another at Yadu. Wapum didn't shame. No mama there. I cry na. Na cash and carry. I cry na. No hat insurance card they did. A man pays it, baby. The moon is soon queen. And what about body. Na bra Omanpai Repawotaman ebusafo yankoya nsama Omanpai okanibi.
We've been talking about universal health coverage. Every country is working to achieve universal health coverage. And universal health coverage is the situation where every citizen has access to quality, affordable care. In Ghana, we introduced the National Health Insurance Scheme, and it expanded coverage and affordability in a major way. But since we introduced the National Health Insurance Scheme, we still have a lot of pockets of underserved areas, especially in the rural areas. And so, for countries that want to extend the reach so that they can achieve universal health coverage, they include in it the primary health care aspect of it. With the health scheme, normally for most of the health facilities under the health scheme, you see the patients only when they are sick. And so it's mostly curative. One key aspect of the free primary health care is preventive, to identify the illness and get early treatment before it develops into something else. And so a major part of the free primary health care is the health screening aspect. And we are encouraging that when we roll out the free primary health care, our traditional leaders and our religious leaders will help us to mobilize their communities. At least every Ghanaian must be screened once a year. every Ghanaian must be screened once a year. And you get the basic screening, and that includes hypertension. So the free primary health care posts would have the sphygmanometers so that they can check your blood pressure to see if you are developing blood pressure. Sometimes if you are developing blood pressure, just a change of your diet can take it away. A change of lifestyle can take it away. But if your blood pressure is high and you require treatment, then you will be referred up to the district hospital level. So the free primary health care complements the national health insurance. And so at that level, it's free of charge. You go, the screening, everything is free of charge. If it's a basic illness like malaria, your CHIPS compound will have the medication for malaria. If it's a basic illness like cholera, your health compound, CHIPS compound, or your health kiosk will have the basic drugs for you. If it is a respiratory illness that requires cough mixture or something, you get it at your CHIPS compound. But if they take your blood sugar and your blood sugar is high, you can change it with diet, but if it persists, then they will have to refer you to the district level. And at the district level, you use your national health insurance card to get the treatment and the drugs that you require. So the free primary health care is complementary to the national health insurance. It's not coming to replace it. It is coming to complement the national health insurance. So it doesn't mean that because the free primary health care has come, you shouldn't get a national health insurance card. You should still have a national health insurance card. But at the point of examination and treatment at the polyclinic level, at the health center level, at the CHIPS compound level, at the health kiosk level, you don't need your NHIS card at that point. You just need your Ghana card or any form of identification to show that you are a Ghanaian and you are resident in that community to be able to access health care. So that's how it's going to operate. Now there's another layer that we have introduced above the national health insurance. Let's assume that we discover that you are you have high blood pressure or diabetes, and you get the early stages of kidney failure, renal failure. They notice it at the free healthcare center. They'll refer you to the district hospital. You go to the district hospital. You use your NHIS card. Now, if your illness is advanced and you need dialysis, there might not be dialysis machines in your district hospital. So that's where you'll be referred to the third aspect of it, which is the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. That's the Mahama Cares. And so you will apply to Mahama Cares. You'll be referred to a kidney dialysis center, and you can go and do your kidney dialysis free of charge. And so, what are we doing? We are trying to prevent especially non-communicable diseases before they become complicated. Non-communicable diseases have become the heaviest disease burden in Ghana. Breast cancers, cervical cancers, hypertension, strokes, cardiovascular accidents, and renal failure, kidney failure, they become the highest disease burden in Ghana because of the change in our lifestyle. And so one of the aspects of the free primary health care too will be to educate people on what makes you susceptible to non-communicable diseases, how to change your lifestyle. I mean, if you are the kind of person who likes eating heavy foods, you are not physically active, you are sitting in one place, and yet when they give you your fufu or banku, you say it's too small. You want a big bowl of fufu, and you want to eat it every day. Sometimes you eat it at night before you go and sleep. All those dietary changes you'll be educated on. Please, by 7 o'clock, eat your dinner and don't eat again. If you are hungry, just take some cup of tea or something. Don't eat any heavy food. Banku in the evening, you come from work in the evening, and then your poor wife is tired. Come and do banku, come and stir banku for me at 10 o'clock in the night. Why? So An aspect of the free primary health care will be education on how to maintain a decent lifestyle. Our fathers and co used to eat banku and fufu late in the night, but they were physically active. They used to go to the farm and they expended energy. Now we don't do any physical activity. You wake up in the morning, no exercise, you eat breakfast. They used to walk to the farm. You go and take your car, drive to work. When you go to work, you go and sit behind the desk from 8 to 5. You close, you take your car again, you come home. And when you come home, you say, where is my banku? What physical activity did you do to deserve banku? You know, so change of lifestyle will be part of the educational activity of the free primary health care. And then we're going to have a category of them. The health professionals in our CHIPS compounds and other places would be the ones who would be the primary administrators of the free primary health care. But we're going to have a category that we call health volunteers. This will include national service people. It will include nurses and other paramedics who have finished school and are waiting for posting. We'll deploy them in the free primary health care service until when it's time for posting. For those who volunteer and take part in the free primary health care, when it's time for posting, we'll give them the priority in terms of posting. And so there will be the health volunteers. They will go from place to place. Some of them will work in the what we call the health kiosk. Others will come to the community with all the equipment, and then they can sit under a tree, and then you just come and take your test quickly. You will be checked for breast cancer. They will be trained how to check for breast cancer. They will be trained how to take your blood pressure, measure your sugar, and all that. They have a scale. They will measure to see if you are too heavy. That is, they call it the body mass index. Your height and your weight must correspond. If you are not too tall and you are too fat, it means, no, sorry, I'm not trying to shame short people, but I'm just saying the truth. There's something called body mass index. They take your weight as a proportion of your height. So if you are shorter, you must be leaner. If you are taller, you can be heavier, but you must also be within a certain body mass index so that you avoid any of these non-communicable diseases. And so they'll have those weighing scales. You sit on it, they'll tell you you are overweight by this amount. So cut down your banku a bit so that your weight can come down. Okay, the minister has brought a sample of the bag. It has everything in it. It's got the scale for measuring if you are overweight. It's got the thermometer to take your temperature. It's got the blood glucose monitor. It's got the stethoscope to listen if you have any respiratory illness. It's got the sphygmanometer. They call it sphig for measuring blood pressure. And then there's a torchlight in the night if they have to work. Then they have a raincoat in case it's raining. And then the blood glucose strips or whatever they call them. Okay, so they will be equipped with this, and they will come to your community. So we also have the health kiosks. So in areas where
Yefi omanpayin nsamuda ebusia yambra finfimantom na yemwasɛ mu ɔyɛ ogwa mensin asɔye na ogwa mensin asɔye community connect yade aprabon bupemu ɔyɛ ola dembre assassin makan ola kita ɔyɛ electoral area basa yewo north ola yewo ola medina na yewo ola low cost na yanyi ola low cost assembly member yɛne bɔ nkɔmɔ na nkɔmɔ twetwe no mun ɔde na di pefe de ololo course abaya de wona watete fence wolum wa da mempem wasa fonkote won wadwuma ne ye dere papa na mpro baya ma won sabaka won ponyo abonkɔman ɔyɛ nsami pi na mum ade so de kasa ɔwɔ ola low course a ɔhɔ won pa ɔne bebi a wuguwura ɔne de baachi bidina bebi a wuguwura akaya de dodo nala osewura fi mmemmia bebre no debu guo na wo de wura no so guo a mraba me wura no bi fuan na wa kan sempi that nua wa ka fa machine ebu dwuru wura no ye fi o na so ade chen na wura aye bebe o ho a unyim bebi a wura no ofi bai wa de sade de container kasa ubinya na wadi wura bugumun ono bobo ho no pa na so onam da wansan ka binti wada de sade to dodura nko na onkan romboa ebusafo yanko na yanye honorable assembly man meche honorable prince nkomotwetwe no yanko hwebi
ize madase mama sanso monfa akwanya edu na mfenchi a oye waitifo no ya hwefo on the 2019 abra oye Ghana ban we declare there oye assemblies and am person do ho kwande we be elect one by nuzefo and on the minyadam akwanya no mzibezi assemblyman in 2019 and me bo amanzie che oye metimemufo the menwa jehoda mazin won so wonenyim e wo ye Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly nti wajim anuye wotie masopom membreno so yino so to amba wazi yimam kwa kado ye wala low cost wanano e wo ye Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly mezi oye 4 years no mutwewie nti 2023 ana masanso mo re-election and ano so nyame adomara me maintain oye me seat nti yereka matena do oye 2 terms into my second term and a move.
What second term? Yenhwe yenzi kan yenhwe assembly ho wiani abohwefi assembly ho nankasa na ta bekare etwa NPP 1 term na se ne butwa NPP another term ajedreko say yerka na ta yefi aban sesen asa na abafofo rebe ni na no etum na enhu na papa unkete hudi wo aban mu no committees ahina akadado na ade umbo bench da abo wa assembly nanks
urban committees za ma serve oye committees ebien mezinkan me serve oye works department and moko oye revenue CC America since CC has more revenue committee no do na mbweze often wajen no ye ma wankasa wunyimzi kakra wa ebotuma za abo oye assembly no bandam particular department here into them American and me survey as a member with them committees and na me input into our in some of our assembly and in solutions towards us and so or as I move to market no yare
into ye be fear input juma bay and on na modo yanka first step 4 years abasin 4 years so no so ye wuremi a no so idru kwawie edaboa wa batomposodo
okay inti maka obiara oye politics biara no ame minya akwanya kusua oye politics e wo University inti oye bibia minyimiara ye metase obiara oye politics biara wo first of all ote oye ne demography e wo ne electoral area na ne community ase onyema obiara ye wo ne electoral area na ne community na ebotum affairs blueprint as abawuzim odezi nkaleta ase na hwese ma ezreba no wasafata na there is bototo wo ha obeye dwuma no onye dwuma ameme electoral area kakeye state yerka yebakade de bia no biara hye ne dem na majority of hwana wata no so bebre na ye hwana we retirees na wa akọ na ahom gym ewe adwuma ma wo pede wo beje wona ahom mo fra men shada anya no madam embrente ne nketesi no so ekwer ebien nti nzama bi wo hono ma se hu de bia wari ye bi wo be bi na kada pede bebe ye bi wo hanom a oya na wa yezen nti hanom ne enyimizi a na de bia hanom no se kede lead hwana o de strategic akra Mary Bebezi oye assemblyman no ameze zama ekra na ebien bi na munhuni amazo toma akoma de den ame adom na mansaka mepede meye mo bo apro kakra yen nkofo kase no mo munhu dem woni issues are not of concern to them akoye security and akoye sanitation into wo metire na munhu de samutum metaklo oye de menza me ebien ni za no na naranyen often communal labor no yen ho keke ka ho na azana za yen impeso easy ede mezi bi ba han ma hair frame po biara yen den won kasa ho na memblame ho na match so we send them make be na retirees na de nti asa na mbeza assemblyman no me kan street light and community ma odwemi bra o ma yen kan kakra ma security na aze ogina na nando me kan ya asa that time na we be 54 street light ba na no kwen be ya na pen no ye djuma yami adoma eno anan mpu no etete bob na also orange ni bi no yami adoma mbe beza assemblyman me suppose be form as a ka ho CCRF for the low cost in bra bia ahyen street light ni ya asesa ya ne led wa ka kuyara obosuru hiya se wo cameraman ni botumo ono pe na odon ha orange bulb ni bi e no no so azo na me yesesa ya de oye adwumenta na yemfa yensa yemfa nken no nti that is one of the things I'm very proud of them BBZ assemblyman e wo le low cost issues with respect to oil security they may bombazen ma attack in here so oyo odi ofimbe chobe yen ya patrol cars mo bo patrol oye electoral area no na into security or ya zibia de bia mo boast of pa and the second one has to do with sanitation yeah but no low cost man you want our low cost houses and you want our estate areas low cost houses no want our money kakra and estate areas ni the majority of us you in zoom line containers are oya ofimbe to zoom line no buffer what they call but the central refuse dump site e wo here Rashid Smile and washing be in nchen ho na e ho na bebre na so wokoto woni regu in some sanitation and men pen kada bia e ba rural community no na bia ready the baby na aze onye dem not but yan how kase on here dem refuse dump site no wo san onye yan kwoti na yetu yen rura e bi mu ze fi rura was a fee other places was a bogu honum ono no ye one of the major concerns and major issues wo la local stand but ono no mpo ya try there manage na besin there oya ndo dar mpo na ebeti bola ho nti ebe for osisi mpo na e clean kaka so these are the major issues and other nzamo ho o local star maybe be za assemblyman no 8 years mutu akade ma attack on here
engine sanitation wo kaka nti ehwo no containers wa wodi gum ana wodi gu for market
ma semizo ayo 2019 was assembly man container bi so azum lion for the bay ba container no the senate is won ho no ya reho nti man yen dem kwa assembly dem kasre so botum asesa ma but one me ya where the financial situation is here our assembly ho no onye mo botu was a procure new container wada mam nti me use it for the meantime nti me be na me yin for beken ho na wo kire me da okay say nya dem wire mesh bi no yen ya botu aka forward yin mo asoso that was a maintaining was a mehen answer na mokwa assembly one amazing come akọ zoom line ho won so chairman the container yin wono na obere ho de mo so so azi ni in 2020 June and obetam container no okotun re na egu mo fa me re hu container ni bi wa besin de 2026 container na no anya na no siwa na no fo bia ho no mo so so ya wonye be fufuro de kesi mo ntumi nkyere be mo osimum but me nyim de obepije wa ha no 2020 June besin de mo fa mo nwa mo fo hu oye container bio nti mezi echire de me new container ekwa assembly one for minutes over the past 8 years obi o complain about container some ekwa assembly wapa on it buda conference on abuti buda ko said on abuti container no ze echi dem mo hwe container mo me electoral area besin de mensanka container nti me yorka sezi ehwo no container bia nso amakada o central bi na okotum re nugum obi aba ifom ho na oza eden oza ato eno akoni baby
ye hwe ye di yankomo twetwe bewe unketa hudi wo community no ka bebe de say ye hwe wo community a no kire abeye de pensioners na kasenara ayun unketa hudi tede
oh I fine pa me sheda nyimpen ni bia wo electoral area mu a ene bobo nkoma obechere bia assemblyman you bia wo frɛ no mbaze otide dabi mon komozi with an army relationship with onwana or community no moze I fine pa
nti we electoral area sha sefi no ko
yo nti me electoral area ne sha sefi oye ole praise school dan no neche ozikesi oye workers college na ezekesi oye assemblies of god junction na ye puemu oye notola be ma ole training for one teachers one banglo no osin nti mano mission e poche yo
ono bo yabadase ya mi adom ifida yebehye community connect
maso madase bebe
nti honorable prince Tibu Dakun ono na yayine bo nkoma no ebusua wabobbo mbembia kor ebien yebeze echi na yakohwe bebe wodi hono wura wodugu osande yehwe ewie ya mpa musima haye kon din ochada mpa ololo course electoral area no oye estate nti obi ahye no fence wall nti obayeden de yenem ya mpa ebu hu de wura da agba no osande obi abusafo yebu pay oye ola low cost baby a wodi hono wura wodugu na yede asembise wom yembisa honorable ye hwa ye hu de ketepre be ye dwuma ho a nkyere na so
iwura so mo bu gwampo ochemoro kwaba honorable iwura ri menyima rede ye hu da watu wala de nche what even otinen
nti mo tin de dama ye bo ho komo earlier on na me chere me de me beza assembly managers na nka ye ne nre impompem be ma sisi aropimi no ye nyim hekekere ya na container ni sa na ye to nra ye zigudo but as time went on America de ye container ni na oba fair kwai no ne chiri no nsunsundu in CCR ne say obi nam anota na ka mumpu na say bi mpa nko nduru wall ya order to nra no gu na so na me chiri ha na we feel they be also make in real we generating no hanom no over a period of a month another mpo man kan dey ended na yebeti bole ended da na yezi grader yezi beti or ye bole yo go hanomin but in area be ma haye nti amuzi oya mejis there in real yo behe onye community nkotin nura consistently and when around you aka chem no ya o ha wo ne o abubo ye be sa we in real was egu ebi muzi fi UCC ebi muzi fi CNC Hilltop ebi muzi fi Ola Madina bebre na obobo in real no wozugo ha nti container na no si aha ema wo yi fi hanom 2020 June no hu nsunsuando na wa amabola na wa ba masisia ozizo kwano na de bia makase mi de se yin take care abole onche bia o ma menhen
ono mumisa asasi a yedi wu no yedi gudo no oya hwana asasi
asasi na ze oya assembly na za
oya ba na
asasi na zo no oya ba na za oya assembly na asasi
nti na chere sesi ano wunyi ho hawo de wodi wura wodi bugu ha na mo wura dodo na ole me
honor menhen
nti ono bu ebe na den osande se ande dare ubiti wura ya na ti se ye hwema ade chenyi mo ogu ya odi nde bende ba sa obasa abakar kan
Waste management of Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly oye bibia ozi na mia pa me ya sure de me electoral area nkotina da mazi ibio o bebebre oba no ye waste nkita huziwa into assembly no o ma assembly members tell ye pass be obi den ka assembly ne ma o ma ye no kwan man ka bia be mo otu regu biara no ye nji sika nka kan ihe na nkasa astime mufu ne botu ye sesi oye hen bolado assembly na ma ho wa ma ye no kwan but mo tin na mo boleti ne kase mo ti a bia defensive mechanism biara nyi ho won wall ho won ye hwi se ka fo bi batena hanom container nsa ha na so onji sika na onji nre nungu ho a ne ma managing no obeyezen but se nke bia ye container si ha yesi ha na ezi nyimpa ne tena ho a nko no so wo mo ti ntima ye no ye assembly na ide wa ye henembwa ofo no ye skip container no ho mejizi the honorable George musu frɛ wa assembly hɔ no wa ta we tu hwana mo but ebia ba na ombe meresere se ebia oteme kase oyɛ wiabe a nka omie mu mam kakra da mo be man kam nsa baka container na nka ebia da ma assembly ne hyehyɛ ne te ne be start agigi sika wɔ hana nka na aso yɛ za manage oyɛ dumping site ha nka mewia beje pa
but was apart from assembly want to test about come individuals and anko kuja butu wa bobo ma bibi otedam no ewie pe
ya ono so nkamera bejon pa se NGOs bi wozi oil sanitation hu dwumazi bi se were team a na se wonenwa aboto wada hwoye ole low cost hanom da ma hen refuse dam site iti and on implications e wo community no ma there was one family bi ana wati oil dem fie ya mu we to Ephraim. And there was a child we are now, young gentleman, or cancer of the oil friend, and I'm saying intestine was I think it's a respiratory system. No, onya one of that implication on them see what the fee hanum into the implication of the mazi or detrimental or helper and the continuous burning of the refuse. No, honestly, as it be no so omboa because all you doing you when no busy out to maybe about 2 review and I know up a general that to. No husuni na ozaba and onya the best and to say bia NGO team apart from Metropolitan Assembly and now they be individual bi wo ho na say bia ozi sanitation dwumezi bi na say obotum aba be henam wa enka mototo aser man cause nenwa ozahwe oye olalo low cost
yo ebushafo enti na aha na brema mamkwan na mede oya center focus no mede esi moyin free the community connect enda and pay yebu pay mo oye ola medina meche the breeze enye ifia hona aha na yedi community connect no yedi ebu pay merekesa wo ogwa mensinimu wonso abakansa na mara na odumje edwuma mpanyfo wonso abakansa wofia ntebusua mesrawara anepei bo made ya wota na twan na nkomotwetwa otede mina no yamfa mbraw osande nsu asisifom na america sei igwanala gates nampo ahena yewo orbubodo ma abeye deja ma yemtu yerebe abafa hinumum nti kwambe no na eba fada yebobo yan wo ban ansa na ayemtu yereba mecha kwarempo etum eyineti eyinti mama fasida mamfa ma edwumaku a anepei adawor mara we so hinasen ma yedi dwumedo otiremi yeda abrahom ansa na yebeda edwumaku no wona ase no ebusia yamfa enda nepei iwim bobia ma obaye no yamfa ntoanyim na sanenso amase rupaya ni yim kwana bafado na esese fie kama ansa na akọ na asana ba Ghana Meteorological Agency da waza abayin de inda anepei ana fitane pekisi eyibiri de membri ya zikwedi hina ye wompano ewian obobbo papa saye hwemesisi arempoi mana wabono nwotwe na nonkunu mgbe mewian na yedere na nnata obeye dzenama kisi eyibiri nonsia kan nonsia po bapa wo na ewian no odaho ala dado yi da iyo mbabia no mpanyfo wadi ababutu yinim nti serupaya sanenso na nkasa tada ne nsa tententen ana babira papa wewienum na mafama no so uri da agra na asawuntala ne mu yahal amanframa etum afa wono papa na anye na ewo mpa no yene bobia mekire yen temperature ma obeyanyi se temperature no kofama yebenya oye 25 degrees Celsius nemum okosoro pada obegina oye 34 degrees Celsius nata ewian obobbo papa tebusia da owomin hena yewo kwam no so yen sanenso de yen temperature no okofoma yebegina oye 24 degrees Celsius emum okosoro da yebegina 35 degrees Celsius nata hena yewo kwam no so asudi kakra o man papa ewian no bobo na so obudun bebin na iwim na ewi kukuku ona mendua ninti insu beda oroto na so obaya apetapetara wo hena ewo kwam no hena yewo etifid mantom ni yensa nenso de zo yene bobia ma obaya no okofoma obaya 26 degrees Celsius na okosoro da 41 degrees Celsius nata ehodi ewie no bobasen hena yewo asahan nte wenuanom wo oye etifid mantom a to honkra na bebi owo bia no won pray da obabia no bebia enwir kakra wo osande ewie no obobbo papa ebusia nyiza Ghana Meteorological Agency and pay what the brain there yan hwe ni wimbo bia ma obaye amasi poya ya de yenwodo ama ahobiara antoyen mafas na ma disel edumaku wasi for budget bra achedi biara epe what the mama na da kam wadofo anampo suma won keke what the birthday achedi boko na wada kam adofo ni na disel wo pedu interbet traffic light na se ko na wombo na achedi bia no fa wadofo won da mpa oniodo ne yankoda no odahwara otemhonomu emi mense de epepenti papa security doors edesi wudane da bo mother kwa mense wona asoye emi mense de painter di paint dana insutu ya no wawo ne kama da ma epe ceiling ma wasise anampo de wasisala un painting kwakran do ya plywood ana pop ni na ekwemi mense asoye a ebenye bi ko abra kwame na waka avenue kepefe no opposite pepepe eho na wose eyun kedigba na oma odano nyefe kama dama the taste wo abra kofi apo crystal sauce na so na osebra na omu ediba papa osan na nyimpa idiza na wo yefiaw no kwasamenyen nti the ediba na feel good the taste and pay epekoko ana epemilo epe coffee ana epe oats obabo enwabrede warfa kahwe mewie na bayan fried rice na obaji na mum enbirin na den kaka na guro mwanna na ewie kakra kama dama ko abra ko fa apu crystal stores na so the test babo menye di papa no edi ebusua ye gina bro wana na da sede bi ida man nesto ventures re abenche ba ketese ba ma wudem on look guy na wasu feel good o sande say ibi ba wudem a o hwe wo so ceiling fan papa obo ho wa hwe da crashing light standing fan oba fa no echo kwagyadoa wala fakahwe nnata wa gba no International Ventures wo Abra Academy SHS road ndo metre mattress asoda no opposite pepepe ho no Nesto Ventures wo hye ko no for them bi ufambo asada checherenchen ikukura na ya cheche idama NPA National Petroleum Authority say use gas na gas de oya affordable bebe abefa bi abanye bi onu so wi a hwe na sanenso de mafuwa tanka mbofom na nya wadwen de edu mobile phone ilikutwa video ana super ikutwa mfayin debi wonya na dam ana super ba 4 gallons fuel agbofom yadi ana tank na agbofom yadi pipe na pai erekasa obi sanenso pa da fango ado penyija bosho na ahwere wonkwa ahwere japadi bi enti NPS stay back stay safe for papa ebusia edwuma kwe wona dawroma na ne pay what anwode na so hiasen ma yade community connect yade brown ya na ye wombra ya ba nkomotwetwe bia ho no ida ache ho do.
National Petroleum Authority say, Mawa Bambo hu hiya ukane. Ain't no, stay back and stay safe. National Petroleum Authority ebo bibia kokose se fuel tank enya akwanhia na edane a menko ho nkwaye wadwen se okosisa petrol anafa ngo no na afin so menye wadwen se wo ben fuel tank enya akwanhia ne ho akwa akodwetwa videos ana pictures na petrol anafa ngo wo hwen so ohua ko wo mu a enye sunsu aso bone e wo apomoden sem so fango nso e ho ahometinti no enfom so okitu ebi ebetumi amaja tom amana gise ewom eba ne saa nipa dodo timi femu hyehye ehwe mo nkwa emeja pade dodo na nso esei eno nti memfa won nkwa nto chacha enye saa obenu ho nkwa na nyina se wo se fuo tanka bi enya akwanhia na adane amafango no ebugu mpa hwa na wa aman ho da stay back and stay safe. Emomo no aya fredum jejumayefo ana posifo 80 kai se wonkwa wo hoi eho hia bebre esensa afango no kokoboi National Petroleum Authority ene de bro.
We sell gift shop, a place you can rely on. You call on us and we'll deliver. Thank you.
Ebusia mama samu akwa ba mu atena Sembra Coastal Television no de geta near 514. Channel 54 you go TV do dem enyim no. Na Community Connect and your oye Ola Medina. Na BBT Ebupe Ola Medina. Nche oye Ola low cost. Na yabo Ola Medina. No enye de ende be bi wa opa ho. Na yanyi Ola Medina assembly member Oshe electoral area do. The breeze if you have it oka na bottom posho do hadi. Me yanyi no bon komo. Honorable Ekokra. Mo ka won the tisanara. Honorable Akwaba. Wadi mahinwa.
Ya hina na.
Apomi yede.
Adum na egudo ada achen.
Honorable by ya assembly man Dabrada Monday yebupe mu nhwahin.
Eja so ba medase. Me ba ya assembly man mfe anan. Oye 2019 akonja no be no. Am so ola won hwe me ankasa momozin bo na meyi no so so wenya. Ampa ampa nu anya ampa. Ola fo woye mo ye nyu so ola Madina. Nti no me ba ya assembly man 2020 23 January and I was sworn in na me ba ya assembly man. But in prempre another currently no me ya asem sisi am a former
dama
mpochonyo.
Wow.
Me a former.
Wow.
Because me come second time no Mosi di nye free na maka na me che mo man poni yezi won komo.
Oye piece o.
Nta no ode motwe mo. Ode me draw. Na woni mu nde wi na se bibi so wampa me draw yi no. Nti ono nyam tinye ne won komo nye free na ebezi.
Wow.
Nye free do. Nti o ma otode bie no no motwe mo ma beti akonya no ma na nhyanka yankopon so de nye oba me nchen de ohia mambo no. Mede me anwodin ten nechi no nyame nchaade no mbe no so na so na owini nti anepe kwampo nkra no onam chemo ma no do koto anta ajo gift na wo frem no ma frem no so oye ejesam no si dwumadi fufu bi no ko maybe nti membra ne membe gina man
ejesam den ya sise de yemi ya doma brother osande yehwe ogwaya mensiriya apiye no wo memmepi but o lady different.
Thank you, madam.
Session mpano de share ulampana or so kokra. It's a mamu phone come kakra. Awo abaye yan fan na forma nata bekare inyimiye. Ola muhu mamisimun kan. Sawo ya farfo, sawo ye kwafo, da wayan kratefo. Ibi huma yantu ola ya phone insi no konkodo. Afafo kakra nkratefo kakra ikwafo kakra tere bibia bi wo ola na de hwe olampa no tete na mendota ona bo hu
eja so ba yidi medase papa apa dem aka no ola yenim odikan yengu bi wo no oya amka ye few ne dem nseso nti mka dem wa asami man no me ya asami no wo ye de wa upgrade yen property rate no nti opede wo increasing na mka asami Honorable na sat and also assembly them the ni ayasro. Wow. Okay, I say, Ola say we rate as second class in Cape Coast. Them say honorable. I no kwa Ola ba hwen yengu bi wo na ya dan no no bobia mo otena. Second class in Ponka Yabor. Ba nyi panel yetimu no quarter class in Poyendu. Honorable sir, me dey come yendu. Quarter class. Yenye mayemi bi na yenzi ye no. Ba di dem yemani fimu so a ano first class in Pono. Yasobo ndi da meken ya na mpa no he no ye twi dwuma ya san so ya adi dwuma ya san so mboa another tenga all the afari dwuma ni nyina no ebola Madina anma na ma obo surprise no e ka da ba Madina sabe ba ka da ko zongo nti no afrafu nyi ho ba da ba Madina ama e benya afrafu ankasa eba na anka isu ot no na so lo sebo another twi ba mo kesen kotoku nsuma wakache pepe ofizongo ya enjinzi wow nti ola man yankopon za achen yan
no yemu
yes
ola nkotindi mu alaji fisherman
yes
alaji
yes Uncle Ahmed very good Uncle Ahmed alaji fisherman wow akabenti funu yan papa apa na dem e kasisi anu yan pa no mihun den no mihun different no kra ha ensese bebre aba se min za ko yan man an menyu a the bridge e kwampo no order mbede yo na nampo obaji oba no ina ahwe another epo no bebi owo no owo echi no nkwa ameme beto la person ina nkubie I can 1 2 3 the line the 31.
Hey,
yes, no,
I said they do.
And San they do.
Fitikal Kwana.
I
can could be the ma
31.
And San they do.
Could do a pump. That was 87 I'm a bear.
Wow.
Gradually in a Kubianu, Olubu. Now Nukubianu Bubino, you never put if you're not a bano. Here you pay baby a dash and we're into you. The man put a member as a man, I ran Mua House was so I ran some bottle. Number as a man West. But still, you old by a bakery, see defense your warrior being still. Upon Bahana, so or beefy. I don't know, me uncle point, most year or she because young open shama upon the about the baby and one. Thank you. And so you see, I know the baby. Obo. Yakoya, okay, April, yeah, April. Yako, you wanna 3rd week and 4th week to menu. I want shut down Braham. April is your own fair me. A baby no will create. Obomogo no, about Basson. Now, the Quang Copan I am upon them. She will go. A time will come up no. What can the moon will be Bugumpan by engines? On a 1 year command, me pede and they pay Yejinado war Olampa Naha. Usanda in their bassing, you will bar pro or Lampa Naha. Now it will go one, no quenny, or Yasifim. On a dema at the chum command. Ma bin kind there. A fair fiahu war town. When in the year where na onam dome insuta insunsu anedi wura na de bampa no ebinum so wode afrafia so wakopa wona edibana wode boko insu saseta wode boko onum ya no so wege mapu mutwira ni na aka mo obada honorable nsabi isomede eja so ba madas papa de mensamenu o ya sembe ozi afrafu no ozi enya ola semen kan ya ni iwu abampa ni natural na nkasa yankopon me waye ni otam insunala din wu abebe pebre o du sometimes wa abo preni na ebe na wakati wo kwa ola loko ne wu ne kase no ofi yen go takase na wo anafo no because ndi gwe insune gwe go tase ni nyina no e wo no na o channel 2 nti se nsuta na ni nyina abampa no obodu mpa no so odu an waye dey ibi afa west ibi afa east direct the ibi ntum nko odu an wa abo apre na yen igwa abaka ya so fasu ni na ala no okan bi na dame iwura no oba na dama yekin ola madina na nkasa no yewura no ombampa no yankasa yen fa yewura ombampa no na yewura no yes yewo yen na yi wo madina here Messi the Caesar lechi wana yo asase kakaka wa yetu yewuregu the Messi kagigi oba asami me na me raise them and but them time no on boys and start to one makon also yenyi constitution bia back the main but I mean since na me ma no ye jiska yankopon charge me success is be no so no ye jiska but the whole crowd wo mean there papa bi sin there asase na naza me so me ka chen onye ni tibia nti me ba asami man papa ni fi abrochi be na oba mo do ya kra na unfortunately ya kra no ono boy na sata menyanko pansa na mebe asemi ma menyino body pa nti ne position onye nyina me yan disi bad makan ibi se na obaka atwo mezi nanyim nso menya mudo asemi pe na obeya matamfo anu muntu manka ne sense ko no obeya matamfo nti o mama bre ya da yin ko no papa ne sena neza on fa ne papers mbra papa ne ba o di note ibi notebook ibi no what the pen or the church as na asasi with the for document proof or just na you know document one no baby wo abrochi me wo abrochi ni fi be ya kwa na bo na yimi de won fa na wa ka ho ebe de asemi ma no asaso nkoten na enye nkofo twuma nko ho me wo asasa ma twuma nso mandwe mama papa eko ya ja assembly no ni igwe na committee GNTC park no eyi na odo ni aye ole community nezi because mpemfu na wo besi ole dan no wotumi wotna wodwen ya to sende sabe bosom no kwampo no wo ye ni eyi was man ma wo be no nti ye be ya papa na otad ye memfa ni krensi sisi awewu osna ewo ni na aka ho kacha wo no so onka ho pe ameme document me ya mo wo no ewo no wojai there ewo no police station post office na hospital ombred the mayor obenti na oche dem pemfu wo ye han purely ikuro ono e dem ya me aduma be na da wo ba na chi ole na nkasa ma oye ma oba no e ba da no ana bebe nyimpe fa papa wo ba kan abakosam no
me original mpa no ya
na mpa no na me sama abehwe dem uwe ye sisi ogwe
yes
dem uwe ye so no dem uwe bi mba inimi aka na nda na mba no ya dem uwe no wo nsuaze ono na enam no wo ye yi wodzizi wo bu na yi nkuto bi o hyehye nso na enam no wodzi na sabe kafra asoba the busy he nda ebe na ebi nyezbenezi achina ebe no enyezbenezi adechi na ebe na enyezbenezi mbochi oto no nda na ebe sana aba ha oni yi ni problem no ngame owo nsuaze wo disease na dem we see of disease an obo dem we ogugu
o da na ewe of obadam
dama fashion tourist no mo ayen de enye no adifu no ya na ebo no kakra bi oka boba bi a ebo no obi fi wonsa ba de won woze no woze eye gua no wasen so roller to that car tie nti won wole ba won na homa na so mo oti no oye ndaze hu che yi bi nti an boba na la osunsu ade no wotu ni na ate dem wotu foundation was asado ya ewo wuzizi yan no bada ka me kapa da ye kwa pam na oba ba chichian afafia ugwani na migine me na ebifu na onye eyifu na oba no nti one lady bi ye ngozi ana mi se na sisi awas oba chichi roba mboi wona wo kra bo na ba no wa chichi wona ami me yefrenyi me mi anda mkoto ebo abokoku na won chichi won e na fashion tourist nso waji awon ma kwa no asema lady ni kacha me de me nyim fashion tourist no sika otu me kacha na mama mu yefe se mokofie motun zaba de me anka se yakokuma ya che fashion tourist wa pa bebia we dis amano na wa ba yan yazi mu kra yatin yazi call secondary up to date baby asem no kodu no lady na so kacha me de me nyim fashion tourist no me nyim sika dodo wotua wazama amana anam kacha wontua mama no won me na wajeje bribe
yes
me kan premprem the chain then one wajeje because when na etumi gian na irizi won echi no no che sika na wo na aje ni we abacha me free nti me mpene man ebo no wafa nkonde wafa nkochina apamo manyi won na bifi kukuku man kotin na afafun ya we gwan mo so me mpene ye gen ya nya me nchaade ebo no wanyi wanfa nkoba da ko ne na ko bo mfine ze no wodo ko na wat na yambra tama waje me no we bibia ye fi ayekọ tama ya kwa ya ebo na wodo ko no waju na ne sumi ni na na wose ya fa ebo hu no fa me na me se ya ngen
de tete bada ho
nti oni ho a wodo ho yen
ona bu ye hwe mpano olampano ya sesiare danu ye be ehu bebi a wo ho nam kakra ehu bebi a wotena waje mfama ehu bebi so a wa da sport fe bebi so wonya mprako ona mo so ka banda no mpano
medasi ya so ba mprako no ne nyane no ai no kwa na da mprako no nyane no nyanne me kada me predecessor obe face dem challenge na wontum nti me first time me baba no me ba ye unit committee chairman
okay
me here for 3 times and some me ba assembly you know na wa be de wa ba from yan afadwuma because it's afadwuma na say because sometimes no e be 4 months na obi nkopu 4 months so obi su bokopu o de kan kotin na o de baba nti to avoid them how na o de baba no o dem de yemfa mprako nti wona wonya mprako ni ya sabe afrafo nkotin krachi bi anyi na ame member ya assembly man no me bo support ko na assembly wo prede wo bogu because wo be shitu nkofo wo prako o wo dai process be mo bokukum prako bebre iwe no what was the come prison for so what the crash so am fan ko oni ntino wo da ba ko na member ya assembly na support those days no ye wo season bi a o ma yankopon close season na nyipa be na wa ase no yankopon na re no close season ntino yesu hwe no May, June, April, May, June, Moya. When I am from one copy, that of a baby Jawano, Chuina, Nana, a far from where the major man, a soul from one call. Now, Miss Shano, another minion for other bone there. All the time, and I often want to mention one who don't know. I've been few words in Mono. By the time I'm coupon by Adum July, open your coupon a little boy, Aban Wobo, July, August, about the map of Ogu Castle. We fi castle kwa nka for no so the same e be no ogu o ko we aze so o de dem time na say afafo no ntum kopu dem time na yakopɔ na ahya ato na buna adwene fifo no o ko we aze nti no me botting I don't plan me supporting it. Say I don't plan with me back on. And I'm command there for common umbra himbo. Me would have put a friend there, Wabachi. There, we are the and some kind of no near the police station, we're not the prison or the prison. It is I mean, I say, what I support you, Manuma. None of them are Juliano, oh, yeah, and I know my support. It's I don't plan with you, man. Wabacano, you probably feed them more properly with me, but my support because one if someone and your first or what for free and half with you.
But I say, honorable, would be into yeah, na yet in commotion a baby and the pay mude and yeah, a 7 member, so Sampara. Now, so a show community more than one pin praying about how party pana at the bottle abonneum, Salipayamo.
Maho, Ozikan, or yan sanity, semi aboard the semi because maybe I send me Madame Americano at 10 people.
Yes.
Now, Skype contain any visual. Madame Bay assembly man pen over my before. Me kuwa wa assembly even an hour on no PM. At that time, me kuwa to me assembly containing a kumpamba. I don't mind forcing my choice there. Yabeji, Ska. Nay, Uncle said, when you for the manage you one. Honor, forcing my demis cannabis. Now, make it a papa be on yellow corn there, a 1 year nazi. Entire old man was the year before the memo be and 2 will go, and 2 will go out over court day. Most of my pen among some local there, a one because 1 man be a baby. After one, the money was the what fairly am I want it or saturno. That's all that. And the SNA baby, when you saw you in Sudama, and the other 2 way, ya filia, as an effie. I want to show the house was that. Only the minimum do me as a man bill, but nature me. Because a year as a man community in well, you go to a river. No less so you are yano. Yaku no do now. Ain't Jindy, ever could be a dark of you. Then Shanka and Coupon the moon were no do on bumper, and enjoy your cry. Into my hawk, I say, only on, and I then you look for you may ask, sir, pay be ala old table because a MPA, National Petroleum, Wabahamu, the me was me and you don't come on Waba. So 4 years as 5 years, one by. Into no, if a human says I have bread. Yeah, brepa, and the community no. Baby, as it we are no good. Upon when Chow assembly honorable judge, so say, ma, the map upon us no yanazin. A one on yanazin there on yanazina. Into no, unsupporting a male community no, Yanjay and Nazi. Baby, a yabo bob. Giantis one so no, Masando, and Infant crazy, and so on your crowd to send. Maybe as a man, 4 different NGOs, no what by the basic clinic catching free. 1 year shame, near prepare amping. Paying for the was supporting mono, you sure? Because upon a game from catching. Me paying a mini age man, or back a mini age man, no, it's me move him. No mean German paying for no, so no. Me move from 1 year. Me pay us a community there. On your community, so next time we'll be by me and more support today. On ye. Into the man is I say be honorable. On say one quarter, regional minister, and also from President Mama. Tell the men I say be Ola Madina. Now, Mamma Paco, you call house no folk 1 year in Sissembi. Only me was a man cause a man concha, but not over.
A fish of freedom, a better by Guido. A better by Babin, because it's young when you came. And she shall not pour Yaba to all. Though house for the alcohol 2018 up to date. By Yan shall not pour Yaba to one. When you know what try, will be seen. It was some noble. Oh, Boko. It was shuffle at the honorable Ekokra. Former assembly member Ola Medina non commotion. Yet the best na ya dan ya ba ya ba. Ghana Health Service in paying for her. Ghana National Fire Service in paying for her. Better for me a bon come cholera. I am 2 years ban on the Damara na a year sorry boy so no so ija on the museum. My na on the ya ba. Yet the commotion can so that young come.
National Petroleum Authority say, Mawo bambo hu hia ukane. Ain't no, stay back and stay safe. National Petroleum Authority ebo obi bia kokose se fuel tank enya kwenhia na edane a menko ho nkwaye wadwen se okosisa petrol anafango no e na afin so menye wadwen se wo ben fuel tank enya kwenhia ne ho agwa akodwitwa videos ana pictures na petrol anafango wo hwen so uhua ko wo mu a enye sunsun aso bone e wo apomeden sem so fango so e ho ahometinti no enfom so okitu ebi ebetumi amaja tom amana gise ewom e ba ne sa nipa dodo timi femu hihye ehwe mo nkwa emeja pade dodo na so esei eno nti memfa wo nkwa nto chacha enye sa obenu ho nkwa na nyina se wo hu se fuo tanka bi enya kwanhia na adane amafango no ebugu mpa hwa na wa aman ho da stay back and stay safe emomo no aya fredum jejuma yefo ana posifo no momehwe nso ano utumi nso efre National Petroleum Authority ewo 0302 550 380 kaise wonkwa wo hoi ehu hia bebre esensa afango no kokoboi National Petroleum Authority enede bro.
We sell gift shop, a place you can rely on. You call on us and we will deliver. Thank you.